Hey boys and girls, should we go ahead and read a couple more chapters of Junie B. Jones is Not a Crook? So let's see, what happened the last time that we read? Junie B. Jones was in the principal's office, and why was she there? Do you remember? Normally she gets in trouble, but this time she was there because she was looking in the lost and found. She has lost what? Can you remember? Her furry black mittens. She's lost her furry black mittens she was so proud of, and she had them taken away, but then she got them back to go to recess, but it was too warm, so she set them down outside, and now they're gone. So this is where we left off. She was in the principal's office, and she really wanted one of those backpacks that she found in the principal's office in the lost and found, but it's not hers to take, right? Okay, so chapter 5, gargling and scribbling. Room 9 is way far from principal's office. I had to stop at the water fountain, or else I might not have made it. I pressed the water button with my thumb. Then I puckered up my lips and I sucked the water in. I didn't even put my mouth on the spout, because there's lip dirt on that thing, of course. I sloshed the water all around in my cheeks. Then I bended my head way back and I did some gargles. I can gargle. Very perfect. Except I can't keep the water in my actual mouth. It runned out of the sides and dribbled on the floor. I splashed in it with my toe. That's when I saw something very wonderful down there. Hey, it's one of those pens that writes 4 different colors, I said. I quick picked it up and pushed the little red button on top. A red pen popped out of the bottom. I scribbled red scribble all over my hand. Wowie, wow, wow, I love this thing, I said. After that, I pushed the green button and scribbled some green scribble. And I pushed the blue button and scribbled blue scribble. Plus, I also pushed back the black button and scribbled black scribble. This pen makes scribbling a real pleasure. I put it in my pocket and started skipping to room 9. Only too bad for me, because all of a sudden I remembered about the lost and found. I stopped. Oh no, I wish I didn't even remember about that, I said. Now I have to take the pen to the lost and found, or else I won't wear a grin. I did a frown, because something didn't make sense here, that's why. Yeah, only I was already wearing a grin, I said. I weared a grin as soon as I saw this wonderful thing, and so taking it to the office would only make me sad. I tapped on my chin. Maybe Principal is a little mixed up about this, I said to myself. I'm pretty sure I will be happier if I keep it. And here's another thing that I'm thinking. I'm thinking whoever owned this pen didn't even take good care of it. So I will give it a good home. And so what can be a gooder deed than that? I took it out of my pocket and looked at it. Plus, this even makes sense, because first I got my mitten stolen, and then I couldn't have the teddy backpack. And so keeping this pen is fair and square. All of a sudden, my whole face lighted up, because I just thought of a different poem, that's why. And it's called Finders, Keepers, Losers, Weepers. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers, I said, real thrilled. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Then I jumped up and down very happy, because everybody says that. And so finders, keepers is really the rule, I bet. After that, I put my pen back in my pocket, and I skipped the rest of the way to room 9. Chapter 6, My Grandpa's Wallet. I kept my pen in my pocket the whole rest of the day. I didn't want people to see it, or else they might tattletale to Mrs., and she would have to take it to the lost and found. I behaved myself very good, because I didn't want to attract attention, that's why. I kept my hand in my pocket so my pen would not fall out. Also, I kept on thinking about my mittens, because I still miss those furry guys. I put my head down on the table. Maybe my Grandpa Miller might buy me some more furry mittens, I whispered, because that would be a perfect situation, I think. I raised up my head Hey, yeah. Then I would have a wonderful, wonderful new mittens plus a wonderful new pen. And also, what more could a girl ask for? That's what I'd like to know. So I sat up in my chair and tapped on Lucille. Guess what, Lucille? Maybe my grandpa Frank Miller might buy me some new mittens, and then all my troubles will be over. Lucille said, whoop-de-doo-doo for me. I know it's whoop-de-doo, I said, real thrilled. And so thank you for your support. After school, me and my bestest friend Grace rode the bus together, and I ran home from the corner like a speedy bullet. My grandpa Frank Miller was babysitting my brother named Ollie. Grandpa Frank Miller, we gotta go to the store. We gotta go to the mitten store, I hollered real loud. Grandpa Frank Miller was in the living room rocking Ollie. He looked funny at me. Go where? He asked. To the mitten store. To the mitten store. We gotta go to the mitten store. I pulled on his hand. Get up, let's get a wiggle on. Grandpa Miller looked confused at me. That's how come I had to sit down. I told him what happened at school. Someone stole my mittens, I said. They stole them while I was being Brownie, and I didn't even know that there were crooks at that place. Grandpa Frank Miller shook his head, very sad. I guess you can find some crooks almost anywhere, honey, he said. I know it, I told him. That's how come I'm never going to see those furry guys again, and so you and me have to go to the mitten store. I felt in his back pocket, then I danced around real thrilled. Hooray, I shouted, hooray for your big fat wallet, 'cause you got cash in there. Right, Grandpa? Right. Grandpa Frank Miller laughed. Yes, I do. I've got cash all right, he said. But I'm afraid we won't be able to buy you some more mittens. The mittens that I bought were the only furry ones they had left, and I bought the very last pair. Just then, all the happy went right out of me, 'cause I didn't actually count on this terrible development. Yeah, only we have to, Grandpa. We have to buy more furry mittens, or else what else will I even do? Grandpa Miller ruffled my hair. Did you look in the lost and found at school? He asked. I did a sad breath. Yeah, only the dumb thing doesn't work that good, because people don't always turn stuff in. I patted my new pen in my pocket. Trust me on this, I said real soft. Well, your mittens could still turn up, he said. Folks will surprise you sometimes. Then he told me a story about his wallet. A few years ago, I lost my wallet at the mall, and I was sure I would never see it again, he said. I bobbed my head up and down. I know it. That's because finders, keepers, losers, weepers, I said. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers is the rule. Right, Grandpa? Grandpa Miller smiled. Well, it might be the rule for some people, he said, but luckily it's not the rule for everyone, because that very day, the very next day, when I went to get my mail, there it was. My wallet was sitting right smack in the middle of my mailbox, and not one single penny was missing. His eyes looked happy and sparkly. Can you imagine that, little girl? He asked. Someone had the chance to take everything in my wallet, but instead they drove all the way to my house and they put it in my mailbox. Just then he reached in his back pocket and pulled out his wallet. Look what I would have lost if they hadn't returned it, he said. He took out a picture from his wallet and he handed it to me. It's you and a baby, I said. That's not just any baby, he said. That's you, Junie B. There's a picture of you from the very first time I held you. He took the picture back and stared at it. Nicest thing a stranger ever did for me, bringing this picture back, he whispered real soft. Then he leaned over again and he kissed me on the head. Okay, it doesn't sound like this drama is over yet, so we better stay tuned and see what happens. We have 2 more chapters to read and we'll finish it up tomorrow.